Hello everyone, welcome back to TOEFL preparation course. In this session, we're going to learn about subject and verb agreement, skills 20 up to 23. Let's begin with skill 20, make verbs agree after prepositional phrases. Let's take a look at these three sentences. Sentence number 1. The books on the table in Rudy's room are all about gardening. So here we have a sentence with subject and verb. And you also notice that here you have adverb of place. Di sini ada adverb of place using preposition. Diawali dengan preposisi. Remember that everything started with preposition is not important. Ingat-ingat, semua yang diawali dengan preposisi tidak penting. Jadi coret saja. Itu bukanlah subjek atau verb dalam sebuah kalimat. Remember, what you find in the sentence is the subject and verb. Jadi yang perlu kalian cari di sebuah kalimat adalah subjek dan verb. Kalau ada kata-kata yang diawali dengan preposisi in, on, at, from, by, it's not important, tidak penting. Ya, so here you have prepositional phrase, frase yang diawali dengan preposisi yaitu on the table and in Rudy's room. And then you have the subject, the books, and verb are. Remember that the subject must agree with the verb. Subjek harus agree dengan verbnya, harus sesuai dengan verbnya. Karena subjeknya the books with S, plural, lebih dari satu, maka verbnya adalah are. What about the second one? The tenant living on the second floor of my house goes to campus on foot. Remember, everything started with preposition is not important. You have prepositional phrase on the second floor and of my house. Ingat, yang diawali preposisi tidak penting ya. Ada on the second floor, ada of my house. Jadi itu bukan subjek atau verbnya. So here you have verb goes, ada verb goes, kemudian ada subjek, subjek biasanya ada di depan yaitu kata bendanya, the tenant. Nah, the tenant di sini singular, hanya ada satu, maka verbnya adalah goes. So the sentence is correct. Subject agrees with the verb. What about the last one? The president, surrounded by secret agents, are going to the podium. Here, you can notice that there is prepositional phrase started with preposition by. Ada adverb yang diawali dengan preposisi by. Ingat, yang diawali dengan preposisi tidak penting ya. Ada by secret agents. Apalagi kata-kata tersebut ada di antara dua koma, berarti merupakan apositif. Berarti hanya informasi tambahan dan tidak penting, bukan subjek atau verb ya. Jadi by secret agents is prepositional phrase and it is not important. Setelah prepositional phrase, kalian lihat ada verb are, kemudian subjeknya yang ada di depan yaitu the president. Nah, there is a problem here. The subject doesn't agree with the verb. Subjeknya apakah tunggal atau jamak? Tunggal, the president. It is singular. And then here we have a verb are. So, subject doesn't agree with the verb. Verb yang benar bukan are tapi is. So that's why the sentence is incorrect. So please remember, subject or verb agreement with prepositional phrases. If you have a subject and then followed by prepositional phrase, remember, prepositional phrase is not important. Okay, everything started with Preposition is not important. So when a prepositional phrase comes between a subject and verb, be sure that the verb agrees with the subject. Kalau ada prepositional phrase di antara subjek dan predikat, maka ingat prepositional phrase itu tidak penting. Jadi tidak usah kalian pedulikan. Yang penting adalah subjek harus setuju dengan verbnya. Ingat ya, verb itu tergantung pada subjek. Jadi kalau subjeknya singular, to be-nya harus is atau was. Verbnya harus goes, memakai s. And then if the subject is plural, so the verb is are or were. And then the verb is, for example, study or go. For example here, the boy, living with his grandparents, feels lonely. Jadi ada prepositional phrase di antara subject the boy dan verb feels. Tidak penting prepositionnya, tidak usah kalian pedulikan ya. Jadi subjeknya di sini adalah the boy, singular, and the verb feels. So here, subject agrees with the verb. That's all. Now let's continue to skill 21. Make verbs agree after expressions of quantity. Let's take a look at these examples. Some of the children are in the classroom. So here we have expression of quantity using some of. And then the subject is after the expression of quantity. Subjeknya setelah expression of quantity-nya, yaitu the children. Remember, the children is plural, jamak. So that's why the verb that you use is are. Jadi verbnya di sini setuju dengan subjeknya. Karena subjeknya jamak, maka verb yang dipakai adalah are. Next. Most of the girls study in the library. You have expression of quantity most of. Baru diikuti subjek the girls and it is plural. That's why the verb that you use is study. Karena subjeknya jamak, maka verb yang dipakai adalah study tanpa tambahan s atau es. Last one. Half of the food are still in the kitchen. We have expression of quantity half of. Remember, it's expression of quantity, not the subject. The subject is the food, and the food is uncountable noun. Makanan adalah kata benda yang tidak bisa dihitung. So that's why make it as singular. Kita pakai peraturan pada singular noun. So that's why the verb is not are, it should be is. Karena subjeknya adalah uncountable noun, tidak bisa dihitung, maka kita pakai peraturan untuk singular noun. Verb yang dipakai adalah is. So when we have expressions of quantity, for example, all of, most of, some of, and half of. Remember, the subject is after the expressions of quantity. Subjeknya adalah setelah expressions of quantity. Setelah kata all of, most of, some of, dan half of. And make sure the verb agrees with the subject. And the subject can be either singular or plural, depending on what follows the expressions of quantity. Jadi subjeknya bisa berupa singular noun atau plural noun, tergantung pada apa yang mengikuti expressions of quantity. For example, all of the students gather in the yard. Ada expression of quantity all of. Jadi subjeknya adalah the students. Students memakai huruf S di belakang. Maka the students merupakan kata benda jamak. So that's why the verb that we have here is gather. Tidak ada tambahan S. So here subject agrees with the verb. Let's continue next to skill 22. Make inverted verbs agree. Remember, in the previous meeting, you have inversion, inverted subject and verb. Kita punya pembahasan tentang inversi ya, di mana subjek dan verb dibalik posisinya. Bukan subjek diikuti verb, tapi verb dulu baru subjek. And inversion can happen in questions, pertanyaan, negative, pernyataan dengan menggunakan negative, and then adverb of place, pernyataan dengan menggunakan adverb of place sebagai emphasis-nya. And then you can also have inversion in conditional sentence and comparative. Nah, remember the position of subject and verb in inversion ya. Verb dulu baru subject. Now let's see the first example. Inside the drawer are some science book. Here you have inversion by using adverb of place inside the drawer. After the inversion you have verb are and then subject some science books. Make sure the verb agree with the subject. Karena verbnya are, maka subjeknya harusnya jamak. Apakah subjeknya jamak di sini? Yes, the subject is some science books using S. It is plural noun. That's why the verb that we use is are. Next, we have inversion using question. When do you usually sing? We have inversion using question with question word when. After that, we have the verb do and then subject you. Does the verb agree with the subject? Yes, because the subject is plural, you. So that's why the verb that you use is do. What about the last example? Seldom in the history has news program been so popular. Here we have inversion using negative by using the word seldom. Ada inversi menggunakan negatif ya, ada kata seldom di depan. Seldom in the history and then followed by the verb has and then subject news programs. News programs is plural because you use as. So that's why here the verb that you use should be have, not has. So the sentence is incorrect. Now let's see the following table. Subject or verb agreement after inverted verbs. So in inversion you can have question, negative, place, conditional sentence without if, and comparison. Remember the position. In inversion you have expressions of question, negative, place, conditional sentence without if and comparison followed by verb and then subject. And remember, verb must agree with the subject. Verb harus sesuai dengan subjeknya. Apakah subjeknya tunggal atau jamak. Never does Tony behave well. Here, the inversion is the negative never, and then the verb does, and subject Tony. Verb agrees with the subject. Verbnya does karena subjeknya adalah singular noun, yaitu Tony. Finally, we come to the last skill. Skill 23 makes verbs agree after certain words. Let's see the examples. Everybody participating in the program is waiting in the auditorium. So here you have subject everybody and then the verb is. Everybody is singular, so that's why the verb that you have is. Next, every man and woman are required to sign in this form. Here you have the verb are and the subject every man and woman. Remember, the subject is using every. If you have every, so the noun is always singular. Jika ada subjek yang diawali dengan kata every, maka subjek itu selalu dianggap tunggal atau singular. Jadi meskipun di sini ada man and woman yang berarti dua orang, tapi karena di depannya memakai kata every, maka semuanya dianggap tunggal. So, the verb that you use is not are, but is. So the sentence is incorrect. Next, each of the passengers needs to show the train ticket. So here, the subject is each of the passengers. Remember, everything started with each is singular. Yang diawali dengan kata each pasti tunggal. Jadi meskipun di sini ada kata the passengers, memakai huruf S ya, yang artinya jamak, tapi sebenarnya subjek di sini singular karena diawali dengan each. So that's why the verb is needs with S. Conclusion. So, there are some words or expressions which are grammatically singular. Jadi ada beberapa kata atau ekspresi yang secara grammar bermakna tunggal, yaitu anybody, anyone, anything, everybody, everyone, everything, nobody, no one, nothing, somebody, someone, something, each and every. Jadi semua subjek yang memakai kata-kata tersebut maknanya tunggal. Okay? So subject using words expressions in the table are always singular, selalu tunggal. Not every student is as rude as Bobby. Here you have subject using every. Karena memakai every, maka subjeknya selalu tunggal. Maka verb yang kita pakai adalah is. So here, subject agrees with the verb. Okay, class. I guess this is the end of our meeting today. We have learned about subject and verb agreement, skills 20 up to 23. That's all for today, and I will see you next time. Bye.